I'd love to hear what was it like when you first started working with me and what it's like now, first of all, for your business entrepreneurial world.
I think you can't even compare it. It's worlds apart. I know when we first started to work with you, we were in the infancy stage of doing other businesses or other jobs which didn't really align with us. And now working together on Creative Baguette, our business aligns with us. It's our heart. We love it. We actually wake up going, I want to code a website. Who thinks that? Right? Most people don't think that, but just knowing what we're doing, it's just changed our world dramatically.
What do you attribute that to? What newness? Is it spirit? Is it power? Is it knowledge? Strength in relationship? What is that has put you in this position right now?
I think it's a mix of all of that, really. There's not one thing in particular. When we started doing the work with you, we were at a very different place to where we are now as individuals, but also as a couple. And I guess via the work we've been doing with you, we came to know ourselves better. We came to start to look forward in different ways, and we before probably were more looking at what was around us and freaking us out. Yeah. And then we got to a point where we just sat down and be like, okay, what can we build now? And what excites us? And how can we live by design? Which for us is huge. And nowadays, we both live the life we want. Every day we wake up and we're here, we know why we're here, we know where we're going, or at least the general direction, as we know things change in life, but we're not too attached to that anymore. We just live with a lot of purpose and very much by design.
Yeah. And so before, if I could ask if there was a word to if there was the pain being disease, burnout, what would you say that was at first?
For me, at first, it would be unease, like there was something missing. I wasn't sure what it was, but there was something missing in my life. And, I had a beautiful partner, I had a business. I thought that was the right business. It wasn't. But yeah, something was definitely missing. And now actually doing the work over the last few years, I've noticed it's not just one element, it's all of them.
Yeah.
It's all of them together that were causing that. And now when I look at each of them, I can go, that's what it was there. Okay, let's bring that together now and let's do better. Let's do life better.
With your sporting careers, what was it like then and how is it now? I know that when you first came, it was lots of lacking inspiration. Mm-hmm. That flame had gone.
Completely.
That's probably more for you than for me in that scenario.
Yeah, for me, playing professionally for almost a decade in sports, it was gone. I was like, I'm done. I'm retiring. Putting my head in the sand. I'm finished. But
why do you think that is, Sally?
I would say it's a form of burnout. I think just the constant training, day in, day out, the games, the not realising what my body actually needed and not giving it that, the quiet time, the nature time.
Yeah.
I never did that. And I think I just got to a point where I said, I can't handle it anymore. My mind couldn't handle it. My body was hurting. And then to, say, come out of retirement 5 years later and to play at a World Championships again this year, I would have said you're lying if you told me that was going to be the case.
Yeah.
I think when I asked Sally, hey, do you want to play beach handball? Which is now a sport we're playing, the beach version of it. And she laughed. She was like, no.
Yeah.
And there we are, a few months old.
Jumping in the air, throwing. There's lots of footage
right.
with Sally doing those moves, by the way. And so there was physical pain for you?
There was.
Yep.
I wouldn't put it down to one certain area, but I would feel my joints. I felt like a unfit 80-year-old woman at the age of 30. That's kind of what it got to.
Yeah.
And I said, I'm not going to put my body through this anymore.
Yeah.
It needs to rest, and I know I have this life after sport, and I need to use this vessel in that life. And it's not just about, how do I put this? Not about running it into the ground.
Yeah.
Which is what I was doing.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's the same for me, not necessarily sports related. Before I started the work with UP, I was in a place where I was very stressed with a strong tendency to burn out. And when that happened, what I would tend to do is just live in my head, endure until my body was like, whoa, what are you doing?
Yeah.
And so I think the first time I contacted you, after Sally already working with you for almost a year, I think, I was very resistant to come around.
Yeah.
Mostly because when someone tells me, this is good, you should do it, I used to go, no, resist it. And I remember one day I was completely burnt out. I could not. I was working crazy hours all day long. I was uninspired. Actually stopped to be able to process information. So we would be talking and I could hear you, but I could not understand.
Yeah.
And that is when I realized, I went to the doctor and it's like, oh, the vessel's fine. It's not the vessel, it's not your ears, it's your brain. Like
dissociated.
It's correct. I was completely out and I realized, okay, I've tried my way before. It's not working. I could see the transformation that working with you had on Sal.
Yeah.
And I thought, okay, that's enough. And I believe, if I recall, my email to you to come and join you the title was, okay, I'm done hitting my head on the wall. And that's what it was. And since then it's been not an easy, but it's been a beautiful journey. And I'm so glad that we've taken the journey.
Yeah, I'm glad that you've both taken the journey together. Yeah.
And thank you, P.
Thank you. Can I ask you to speak to your relationship? Because, you say, Sally, this assists in all areas, right? And people don't really get it, and it's so difficult to articulate the work. How has it assisted your relationship?
I think for us, we've noticed that we had we thought we had great communication at the start, but you can't communicate your needs and wants in a way if you actually don't know who you are.
Yeah.
And that's what we hadn't realised. And once we started to get to know ourselves better, we actually got to know the other person better. And we had more, grace might be the word I think I'm looking for, just to know, okay, well, that's how Manon operates.
Yeah.
And I can understand that. And instead of me reacting, I can respond. And I know that, okay, that's what she needs right now. I can help you in this case. And I think it's just grown our relationship. It's so much stronger. We get comments all the time going, I want what you guys have. What are you doing?
I love that. Pauline's work.
Yeah, basically, right? It's just,
yeah, but you guys put in the work too,
and I think it's just been, it hasn't been easy. There's been moments where we've both gone, in a way, but it's been beautiful.
I think that's the key. We have now found a way. We probably argue more than we did before, but we argue for the right reason and with great outcome coming from it.
Yeah.
Because before, sometimes, we wouldn't said something, or you wouldn't have said something. Where now we respect ourselves as individuals, but we understand that there is this third entity that we learn to look after, and that's our relationship. And for us now is about, having, this really gave us a tool to, as Sally said, better understand each other, ourselves, which then each other, as well as really, keep on building that trust that we have for each other and being fully transparent and able to continuously grow together and give each other space as well when needed. Yeah. I guess that's a few of the things amongst many. And we have more fun.
Yeah.
It's a lot less serious.
It's so much fun.
Yeah. I mean, not always, but most of the time, And when it's not serious, we now can realize and be like, oh, hang on.
Yep.
Hey, are you aware? Am I aware? Where are we doing? Let's correct it, and that works well for us.
But it's I think that any relationship that doesn't have those challenging conversations is a dead relationship.
It's true.
There's no another layer that reveals itself. And so when we go into these confrontations, we go in with curiosity versus charge.
That's
right.
Exactly it. And me being a peacemaker at heart, that was what I love to do.
Challenger.
Yeah.
was to say absolutely nothing, and Manon wanting to just poke and be like, come on, you need to say something.
Yeah.
And now I know, okay, I can express my needs. Mm-hmm. Here they are. This is what's bothered me, but learn to express it skillfully.
Skillfully. It's the skill set.
Most of the time.
Yeah. So if you didn't do my work, where do you think that you'll be right now?
I would be running I would be unhappy in my business. I would be having relationships around me that were not good for me. I wouldn't know my own boundaries and know how to look after myself. And that would probably result in me being annoyed, probably sick, which wouldn't surprise me, burnout, stressed. In terms of our relationship, that would obviously put pressure on any relationship if you have someone who is just not in the right mindset, and their body's also not there to actually fully be committed in the relationship. I really do believe if you look after yourself first, that's when you can be there for others when they need it.
Yeah.
And for me, I would probably be sitting at court right now, given how my previous business is going. But I would be burnt out. I would be extremely skinny. I was skinny when I left.
Yeah.
I would definitely have had a different relationship with Sal, because I used to have a tendency to just retreat when I was really stressed, which would have put a lot of stress on our relationship. And I would have missed out on what it means to feel joy.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what it would be like.
So prior to working with me, when you did feel that pain, that unease, the disease, the sickness, what did you used to do then? What was your go-to then versus what your go-to is now?
Push through for me. Just push through until it's done, because often I would have this idea of, if this happens, then everything gets fixed. So I'll just push through, which actually, in my case, would always make things worse. Which is why for me, when I reached that point, I had the ability to stop and be like, okay, what are you doing? But it took me to go really to hit the bottom hard to realize that.
Yeah.
For myself, I'd just internalize it all until it exploded at one point, and that would explode in any sense, whether that be my mum asking me, can you grab me a cup of tea? And I would just blow up. Yeah, basically. Something as simple as that. But it was actually realising that it was not that moment that was the catalyst, it was everything else building up to it. But I would just internalise it and just sit there and be like, oh, I'm here, I have to be here. It's my responsibility to be here, or I do it out of loyalty. But now I don't know. I can actually say, it's been great to see you. Okay, bye.
Yep. It's the self-mastery piece,
Yeah.
the self-leadership piece. Can you share a specific instance where the work that you do with me has really influenced or impacted your professional life or and your business life? Is there a specific instance?
Yes. I'll never forget this moment. You and I sitting on the cliff tops, and you giving me a lovely duck slap about the business, about it's time to put some love into it. It's time to rebrand. It's time to really make this business who you guys are.
Yeah.
And I'll never forget it. I'm so grateful for it. But God, that was a bitter pill to swallow in that moment. Internally, I was like, oh, she's not serious, is she? Are you serious?
Yeah.
But that's probably one of many, but that's probably the biggest moment that's shifted our professional journey in a huge way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you took it well later.
Yeah, it's funny.
No, she took it well on the day too, but someone has to say it,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, and
and
it's
if
a-
the next level, then you.
Thanks
yeah.
for taking it for the team, honey. No.
But it's also that radical transparency. You don't always get that from someone who's trying to coach you or to help you.
Yeah.
You say it like it is, and you say how I need to hear it, not how I maybe want to hear it in that moment.
Yeah.
And that's the game changer.
Yeah, that's the
It really
difference
is.
between kind and nice.
Yeah.
Right. It's for your own good, even though you don't think it's for your own good right now. But I also want to acknowledge you both for going, okay, got it, and then putting your ego to the side and running with it, you
Yeah.
know, and you're in a very different place now.
Yeah.
Completely.
Yeah.
And for me, I probably have two ways to answer this question. There's one side of it where you provide us with a lot of tools
Yeah.
that a lot of them you can use both in your personal and your professional life, you know, in terms of understanding, be much more influential in the way we are, the way we operate as people, but also as a business, as an entity itself. That for me was, or is still, very transformative and really contributes to our work, because it gives me an extra lens on how to understand the word I'm around. And then if I have to think about one specific time, it'd probably be the first time we had a chat.
Yeah.
And I was unhappy where I was, and my body was telling me all those things. And I remember, I think I spoke most of the time, and you just kindly said nothing and listened.
Yeah.
And then you said, so I think you know what to do.
Yeah.
And excuse my French, but I was like, fuck, yeah, I do. And,
Yeah.
you know, you said to me, you got to step up for yourself. Because clearly that's not working, is it? And it wasn't.
Yeah.
And I think the next day or something, I said, no, I got to leave the business and take some time to think about what I need to do.
Yeah.
Not everyone needs to be so extreme, but in my case, that's what I needed.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Well done. I mean, it's not easy to do until it's easy to do. For many people, they wouldn't understand what the work means when you say the work, right? That's beautiful work, you know. For someone who doesn't understand it yet, what would you say the work is?
So for me, it started off as simple as watching a sunrise and actually realising how much I love the ocean. I'd grown up around it, but I never quite realised that. So watching a sunrise and then going into the ocean, that's the work.
Yeah.
that it was as simple as that at the start. And just that recalibration. And the more I did it, the more I realised how beneficial it actually was for my mind, my body, my soul, everything. Yeah, that's as simple as it was at the beginning.
Yeah.
And for me, the work, very much what Sal said, but as well as, you know, there's the work you do to get up, to earn money and to put food on your plate. Maybe to go on a holiday because you're burnt out, that's possible. But then there is the actual work, the thing that matters the most in your life, which is look after yourself, and how to be a better human being. And so that translates in as many things as, you know, for me now, reconnecting my body, my mind, and be centered, be connected to myself and the people around me, take time to stop and take it in. It was extremely hard as someone that thinks or used to think a lot and be up here.
Yeah.
And so the work is constantly focusing on what keeps me in the right mindset and vibration to keep on doing better for myself and the people I love.
Yeah. How did doing the work or doing these things with myself or my teachings change your perspective on dealing with the unease, the disease, the pain? Why weren't you doing it before?
Well, there's a few things. First of all, before I had this presumed idea that, yeah, people say it, that's cool, that's all and great, but I've got shit to do.
Yeah.
You know, and I just didn't believe it. I was someone who's never been also introduced to spirituality, and it was very much in my mind, I'm very logical, you get what you work for. Except my definition of what you work for was probably not right, now I realize. And now just being able to, I'm losing my words. You can jump in, I'll come back to it.
For me, I didn't have an awareness of presence. Yeah. So I didn't actually understand what it meant to be present. And that's probably why I didn't do it. Oh, I'd seen a sunrise before, and I would say, oh, that's a beautiful sun. Okay, see ya, let's go grab a coffee. But to actually sit there and to actually have time for yourself, no phones, no distractions, and when you actually consciously do that, you then realise, oh, okay, I get it.
Yeah.
I actually get it. To actually watch that sun come up over the horizon.
Yeah.
To watch the sun glitter on the water.
Yeah.
Yeah, that...
It's medicine.
It totally is, but when you don't have that awareness of it, when you just think, oh, it's a beautiful sun rising, or even just looking up at the moon, oh, it's a moon. Yeah, but have you actually looked at the moon before? And then it just all comes internally, and you just go, okay, everything else doesn't matter.
Yeah,
it's being connected. And for me, to answer the previous question, was seeing the transformation in the people around you, P, is inspirational. And if anything, when I started, it was about, I'm doing something that's not working right now. I'm seeing people that are doing something else. There must be more than just what I think it is.
Yeah.
And it got me curious. And I'm glad I went, because it's not just the sunrise. You obviously give a lot of tools as well, which my brain loves. But it was being able to refocus on my heart.
Yeah.
Which then taught me to actually look after my body, my mind, my heart, my people, myself.
Yeah. The community is a beautiful community.
It is.
And watching them transform, for me, that's why I'm here. You know, that's why I'm here. But with everything, that is because of the community support too, right? And it's a beautiful thing to witness. Talking about community, can I ask, with your sporting community, how has working with myself and doing my programs, how has that assisted and influenced, you know, you captaining the Australian team and you managing the Australian team? How have they responded to how you guys have transformed and evolved?
To put simply, I've been to 5 World Championships in this lifetime, and the last one I went to was the best one by far.
Yay!
And it was just simple things of actually having an awareness of how people are. Okay, yes, I have done something a certain way my whole life. I've been around professional sport. Not everyone has. But to be okay with that and to say, okay, well, if this is how you operate and this is what you need, that's what I need to give you as a leader to get the best out of you.
Yeah.
It was just game changing, you know. Looking back, it's the best results we've had in over a decade in the sport. Everyone's come back motivated, happy, want to keep going, asking when are the next camps, when is the next tournament.
So you're a much more impactful leader now too.
Yeah. And I've also got less stress on myself.
Yay!
I think that was the biggest thing, was actually going, oh, this is actually not that hard. Whereas I used to make this big, huge responsibility when actually, no, a good leader enables each of your teammates to bring what they can for us to then to come together and to make something special. And that's what we did.
Yeah,
And
so good.
That's key, as actually, with you. We've learned, or I know I now have the tools to do things with ease instead of pushing things up hills.
Yeah.
And that's just amazing, because you don't have to work harder to be happier, really.
Yeah.
And to make things work better. You can have a lot of harmony. I think now we have a lot. I work a lot less than I used to. I earn just as much, if not a fair bit more, and all of that by being healthier.
Yeah.
That's as simple as that. And by doing things that are so simple, yet everyone forgets about.
Yeah, they're deceptively simple.
That's right. That's right.
Deceptively simple. I want to ask you a last question, because this is, when I watch what you guys have achieved, this makes my heart sing. Your lust for adventure now. Being the digital nomads, you know, it's like, oh, we're going to build our own caravan and travel the world. I love that. That's really inspiring.
Yeah. And I don't think we would have been able to design our lives that way if we hadn't put all these pieces together.
Yeah.
I've always had a love for travelling. I never knew what it was.
Yeah.
But it's experiencing cultures, being in a different place, getting different perspectives on life. And now the way we've created our life. Okay, this week we're in Sydney. Next week we're in Victoria for 5 weeks, you know. After that, who knows where we are.
Yeah.
But it's amazing to actually just do what we do. I love it.
Doing life better.
Yeah.
By design.
Doing life by design.
Yeah, that's right.